minimal minus. So we all know that the XP lifetime is going to end, right? So there won't be any patch updates, no support from MS side, nothing. So now in our enterprise market, we know most of the organizations are using XP, right? So some organizations have 2000 plus machines in their environment, especially in bank, like most of the teller machines they are running on XP machines. So how we are going to migrate all these things with minimum effort from a central location? So that's what I'm going to talk about. So today's agenda. Okay, so today I'm going to cover what are the customer pain points and how to migrate XP to Windows 11 using config manager, that is SCCM config manager. And because most of the organizations they don't have SCCM in-house. So in that case, how they going to manage? So that's where the XP migration using Microsoft free tools. So free tools are there where you can manage and migrate everything. And finally, there will be questions and answers. So if you have any questions, please ask it end of the session. Right? So there are 6 steps to process. So basically, to do the migration, we need to know that some are going to use the existing machines, right? So even XP, we know that even we can run it on 512 memory capacity, right? But not Windows 7, because the recommended size is, if the Windows 7, if it's a 32-bit version, the minimum memory capacity will be 1 GB. But it's again depend on the application which you are going to run. Maybe if you are running Office and so many applications, then you have to increase the memory. If it's a 64-bit one, the minimum and the recommended size is 2 GB memory, right? So first of all, we need to get the inventory of, the environment inventory. So the XP machines have enough memory power, enough storage power, enough what we call the free space, hard disk space, and all these things. Not only that, the biggest question comes to the picture: what about the application support? Because especially now, as I told you, most of the banking teller machines are using XP. So the applications are running on XP, we supported on XP. But in case if they migrate it, what will happen when it's running on Windows 7? We don't know, right? Whether it's supporting or not. So we have to make sure the applications are supported. That is a must, right? So keep it as the first priority level 1. Then we are doing the initial OS deployment, right? And the other question is user state migration. That means what about the user state data? Because they have Word documents, Excel, PDF files, a lot of data. So how are we going to do it? So if you have, let's think now in your environment you have 1,000 machines, right? So it's distributed across the bank. So everywhere you have, it's not in a single location. How are we going to manage it? So you have 3 people in IT department. How are we going to manage it? So you are going to back up each and every machine for the user's data. So that's where we are using those. So I'll explain how it happens. So what we are doing here is basically we are taking the user state data. So we are taking the backup when it's happening the migration. So that it's taking the asset management, right? That means the software, hardware, and everything. So these are the major 6 steps which you need to follow before do the migration. Right? So inventory readiness. So here to do the inventory. So as I told you, using SCCM you can get the hardware inventory, software inventory, and everything. But if you don't have these things, how can you do it? So that's where the Microsoft assessment and planning tool comes in the picture. So using map tool, you can get the software inventory and hardware inventory. So you know what are the confusion on each and every XP machine. So totally the total environment you can assess through map tool. So it's a free tool, right? And then again, so SCCM, because the good thing in SCCM is you can generate reports as well. So easily you can get it. That's why, because SCCM is a good product which is having all these features. Otherwise, if you plan to go with free tools, of course you can do, but you have to integrate multiple applications, right? So initial OS deployment. So this is how we are doing the deployment. So it doesn't matter whether it's SCCM or the free tool. So the free tool will be to do the migration. We are going to use Microsoft Deployment Toolkit plus Automated Integration Kit AIK. So we using these two combinations. These are free tools. So you can do the same thing, right? But SCCM also there, right? So this is a task sequence where you are creating all these migration parts. So how to capture the Windows settings, network settings. Let's say now your XC machines are connected to domain, right? So all the domain details, the static IPs, everything will be there. Nothing will happen to all these details. So simply you can migrate using task sequence with these two tools. Right. So as I told you, use the same data. So even it doesn't matter whether you are going to use the existing PC, maybe you are going to buy new hardware devices, because you are thinking more point of upgrading it to with new memory or whatever things. So you are going to purchase new hardware. So still you can do the user state migration from the old box to the new box, right? So I'll show you the demos and everything. So again it's about the user profile. So whatever the user profile is in there, because maybe the particular PC is not belong to one person, maybe multiple users are using, right? All their data are saving in the same machine, right? So we can back up all these user profiles. But only thing is, it should be under my documents, right? If they save it somewhere else, like D drive or anything, and in case if you mention in the task sequence to format the D drive, we can't take the backup, because by default system don't know where the data, because by default it's taking user profile data only, right? So you need to make sure that, right? So now if you are going to use the SCCM, so we can have a software portal like this. So there you can publish all the applications you want to install, right? So whenever you want, you can deploy it using the console, or else users can request it from you. So let's assume you are the admin, and most of the users, they are requesting that, saying that they want to have issue, but the thing is, we don't know whether exactly they want it or not, right? So from there, let's say the user is in the HR, so definitely they don't need the issue, right? But they are requesting. So using SCCM, you can get the approval request part as well. So whenever they can log into this portal and they can request it. So once they request it, you will get the approval saying that the particular user is asking the Visio software whether you want to approve it or not. So you can get it through an email, or else you can get it through your SCCM console. So likewise, you can manage the applications as well. Right? Okay, let me show you the demo quickly. So now I talked about two solutions, free tools and SCCM. So first, normally to do a migration, it will take 1 to 1.5 hours time, right? So to back up the data and restore and deploy OS, application, everything, right? So I'll initiate the demo in my lab, but we can't stay till again. So what I can do is, for the rest part, I'll continue with the video, right? So now here you can see here I'm running couple of VMs, right, on Hyper-V. So you can see MDT 2013, MDT HCP server. So this is inside this, it's running AD, HCP and everything, and Microsoft Deployment Toolkit and Automated Security is running here, right? So take this as a one solution. So the free tool will be running in this lab, and for SCCM it's running in here, right? So let me quickly connect to SCCM server. Right. So here you can see under application management, there is an option called operating system deployment. So can I know who are familiar with SCCM? I know one. Who else? Right, two. So right, okay. So others, you all know what is SCCM? Why we are using SCCM? Right, okay. SCCM is a product where you are using to manage your enterprise desktop environment. Right? So basically it uses updates, software metering, application push, hardware inventory, remote support, lot of things. Right? So basically keep it to desktop management. Right? So here now using SCCM we can deploy OS. Doesn't matter whether it's a server or client or whatever. Right? So in this case, under operating system, we can see the drivers option is there, right? And operating system images, right? So what do you mean by drivers? So drivers means, let's assume now you have Lenovo machines in your environment, Lenovo plus HP, right? So all these are physical boxes. So when you are going to deploy it, when you are deploying the OS, what are the drivers? So we need to pump the drivers as well. So what we can do is, we have two options. Either we can categorize. So saying that we have, let me use this. We have Lenovo and we have HP, right? So in this case, you can see driver package also there, right? So under driver packages, you can create two packages, one for Lenovo and one for HP, right? So you know exactly these are the drivers we need for Lenovo and these are drivers we need for HP, right? So we can have two groups and we can add it to here. So what will happen here is, when we are creating the task sequences, right? Let me go to the task sequence. The task sequence is the place where we are creating all the configuration, how the OS migration or the OS deployment needs to be, like whether we want to partition the hard disk, or we want to format, or whether we need to enable the BitLocker, how. So all these configurations are configuring under task sequence. So let me quickly go to just a deployment. So here you can see capture Windows settings, restart Windows PPE, partition disk. Right? So everything you can configure here. So when you see the apply device driver, so what will happen is, let's say now you are going to deploy using SCCM. Okay, this is the SCCM server. So you have a Lenovo PC here, right? You have Lenovo PC. So what you are going to do is, you are going to deploy the OS. So what will happen here is, SCCM knows these are the drivers I need to pump into this particular device, right? So it will push all the correct devices, right? Because you have created the separate groups, right? So, okay, now let's assume you don't know exactly these are the correct drivers. So what will happen? So using SCCM, you can put all the drivers in one folder. So here you can see driver. So everything will be, all these two will be in one code. So you are putting HP, Lenovo, whatever the drivers in a one code. And when you are creating the task sequence, it's capturing all the user profiles and everything. So there are two options, user profiles and set location. So set location is basically whether you want to put all these user state data on a local location or in a central location, right? So the user files and settings are here, right? So even SCCM is using a tool called User Migration Tool, USMT. It comes under AIK tool, which I told you. Even when if you want to install SCCM, AIK is a prerequisite. So under AIK, USMT is included. So it's using the User Migration Tool, USMT file, to capture the user state data. Okay. So likewise, there are so many options there you can configure. In addition to that, if you want to do a customization, so you have the options where you can add whatever you want. drivers, images, whether you want to convert into a dynamic or you want to enable BitLocker. So everything you can configure using this, right? So now in this case, now I have a XP machine. Let me quickly open the XP machine, right? So you can here now I have created two snapshots. So here the first one is before XP migration, right? And this one is after Windows 7 installation. So there are two snapshots. So you can see how many desktop icons are there, and when I go to my documents, I have some videos, right? Some videos are there. I'm going to restore the XP status. So the IP 104.31 and everything is there, right? And in my document folder, we have with me the Microsoft machines because everything is running in my laptop. So my documents. So there are a couple of folders, some documents, Acrobat stuff, videos, pictures as well. So what I'm going to do is, now I want to keep all this data and I want to do the migration. So everything is here, right? So how are we going to do this? So using SCCM, after you create the XP to Windows 7 upgrade task sequence, so basically you have to deploy it to the particular machine group. So I have deployed to the group called XP. So under XP collection I have this Windows XP machine, right? So now I'm going to open the software center. So you can fully automate it because when you are deploying it from SCCM, you can mention, okay, this is required, or else you can set it as available. So when you say available under software portal, it will be available saying that there's an update to available whether you want to do install it or not, right? If it's under required mode, it will automatically install it for you. So still it's not happy yet. So let me forcefully check it. Okay, now it's saying update is available. Okay, now you can see the particular task sequence is here and it says it's available, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the XP to 7 migration. Now this is under Windows XP mode and you can see several softwares are there. Skype, VLC, McAfee, Office 2003, no, 2007 is there, right? So I'm going to do the migration now. So this is using SCCA, right? So it says whether you want to do the installation. I'll initiate it and I'll show you the video clip because I have recorded the same. So otherwise we don't have enough time. So now you can see it's downloading. So whatever the content is downloading from the SCCM server. So once it's complete, what will happen is it will initiate the migration. So we'll wait a little further, then it will pop up the capturing part. See, now it's running the actions, initializing task sequence. So whatever the task you have mentioned, now it's initializing. So then later on it will start to capture the user set data. So capturing Windows settings. So likewise, then the second will be the user profiles and all. Right? So user like okay, now set the location. So capturing user files and setting. So likewise, it will start to run, right? So when it runs, let me quickly open. Yeah, I have executed Windows 7. In the morning I recorded this. Let me run it. Right now. Any questions about this part?
Now, when I deploy this, voice image is a system.
You can use the system because normally you can do a couple of methods. If you want to get a capture image of a particular one, of course you can do a capture. So when capturing, it's doing the system part because in APAC region, most of the SCCM admins are using a big issue because especially in APAC region, whenever the people are buying machines and whenever the people are selling machines, they are doing the rules thing, Symantec was kind of thing. So at that time, it's not doing system part. So basically, CQP duplicate. So whenever it comes to the CCM, it won't communicate properly. So time to time, sometimes you will see the same machine is communicating, it's active and the agent is working fine. But again, in few seconds, it won't communicate. So because of the securification, there are a lot of issues. So you need to make sure that. That's why always Microsoft is saying use system part.
Okay, so whatever the machine which has been ghosted won't work on this one.
I'm not saying that it will work, but the thing is, when it's starting to communicate with the SCCM database, there will be issue. So always try to use the system one. So whatever the requirements you are doing using SCCM, the system is there, right? So there won't be any duplication or anything.
So how do you suggest now? Say I have 10 XP machines.
Okay.
And one SCCM server and the rest of the infrastructure. So normally during I have like 10 XP machines.
Okay.
And in that network I need to deploy Windows 7.
Okay.
So in that case, when I deploy SCCM, if I deploy it as a mandatory update without any user interaction, so in your experience, what would be the consequences like bandwidth issues or something like that? How much would
Okay, the first thing with my experience, I'm not recommending to do the zero touching pushback because there are lots of incidents that mistakenly they have pushed the logic kernel to the wrong collection. So all the machines will format and reinstall the neighbors. So we will lose the data. So what I'm saying is every time put some kind of parser or something, right? So the task sequence part. Then whenever the machines start to root it will come to the parser, so it's safe, right? So that will be the first thing. And for the second thing, you asked about the bandwidth. Okay, the bandwidth, the Microsoft base, they are not saying okay this is the minimum and maximum, right? Basically, you can use a couple of methods like throttling. It's background integrated transfer service in Windows. So using that you can throttle, right? So that is the only option. Or else, if it is across the band, you can use the DP or the secondary side. So you can do the replication at night time. You can schedule it. once it's done, from the primary server you are just passing the command, and whatever the content will take from the CPU, whatever the server they have in their remote server, right? Or else there are a couple of third-party integrations, but you have to pay for the license. So using that, even doesn't matter whether what is the bandwidth size. So using one single server without having DP seconds or anything, you can do everything with that particular third-party integration. So it's what it does is it's basically doing a throttling for the acceleration for the bandwidth. So there are some third-party tools. So but only thing is you have to have a license and there will be additional charge. So okay. So quickly, okay, this is the video. So same thing, right? So same machine. So let me quickly take you to the XD. So here it started the capturing part. So I'll quickly show you how it happened. Once we capture all the data, it will boot with the PC mode. So here it's asking to restart. So with the restart, it will start from the PC with Windows deployment services. Then if you download whatever the iOS, the software images, operating system images and everything. After that, so I'm not sure whether it's saved or not. So here it's doing the formatting and everything. Right, so OMC is going to format. Right, then it's again installing the new SEC image. And finally, it's installing the applications. I told you that whenever we are going to do the migration, we can't take all the applications, whatever the Office or whatever the installed applications, we can't take it to Windows 7. So the only option is we can push the same applications back with the task sequence. So whenever the installation is complete, we will have the same application, right? So only thing is you need to have the setup.exe file to do that. But there are some tools. Yeah, you can do the application migration as well. So you don't need to install it from the scratch, or you don't need to do this part. So let's say now you have a in-house developed application running on Windows Server 2000, and you want to install it on 2012, but you don't have the in-house support for that. But using third-party product called F0, using F0 you can do that. So what it does is it's taking snapshot of all these application data and everything, and it will install it on, register it on whatever the new OS. So likewise you can do. So here you can see the Acrobat is installing. So I'm not sure whether it's clear. So Acrobat is, all the applications are installing now because I have mentioned it in my task sequence, right? So this is video. So let me quickly now see now it's still running. That's why all it will take 1 to 1.5 hours time. So let me restore. So just keep it in mind. These are the files in desktop, right? So I'm going to take the snapshot after the Windows 7 migration, right? Because today morning I started at 5:10, right? Because of my machine performance, this much time, right? Because of data and everything is there, and I'm running SQL, AD, everything is here, right? So SCCM I assigned 10 GB of memory. Okay, so let me restore the Windows 7. The good thing is, using SCCM from a central location, you can manage everything. So you don't need to go to each and every machine, or you don't need to go to all these branches or anything, right? But if you are going to use the MDT, I'll show you the MDT part as well. So if you are going to use the MDT, you can do it. But you have option where you can, after you create the task sequence, you can put it to a thumb drive as a bootable device, and you can plug it to individual machines, and you can do the migration. So everything will be resides in the thumb drive. So I'll show you that part. Or else, using the MDT server, you can do it, but if it's in a branch office, then you have to take this machine over there, right? So that is the disadvantage in the free tool. But end of the day, if you don't have SCCM and if you don't have others who have SCCM in-house, so for the it's better to go with the free tools. So no harm, nothing, and the installation is easy. Only thing is you have to be very careful when you are creating the task sequence, because you are going to capture the user's data. In case if it fails, then what will happen? User will complain, what happened to my data and everything, right? So you have to make sure and very careful when you are creating the task sequence. Okay, so now this is my after I upgrade to XP machine. So same username, same password. And the good news is, end of the session, I'm going to ask a question from one of you. So whoever giving me the correct answer will get a voucher. So therefore, it's better to keep everything in mind. So you can get a free voucher and you can get a free, the ebooks, whatever the ebooks you want. So, okay, now this is XP. So you can see the Sky, Acrobat, everything is there. Everything is same as the XP, right? So even if when I go to my documents, videos are there, and when I select pictures, pictures are there. So that's so everything is here. So nothing to worry. So this is with the SCCM, right? So here now it's installing a new software. Likewise, you can manage using SCCM. Okay. Now let's quickly move to. Before that, I talked about the asset management and all. So now this is SCCM console. Let me quickly show you. Now under this, you can see the asset management is there, right? So it will show you the inventory data. Okay, so here it's captured 166 identify Microsoft, 195 are 12. So if you click 12, what are the 195? So likewise, you can capture what are the softwares you have. So using these kind of tools, you can get an idea whether we can have the same files on Windows 7 or not. If not, what we need to do. So that's why initially you need to ready with application compatibility and everything. So make sure that otherwise after you do the migration, if the applications are not working, you will be in a trouble, right? Right. So let me quickly go to MDT server. Now here I have a MDT environment, Microsoft deployment toolkit, and I have XP migration machine as well. Let me start it. So I'm going to log into MDT server now. Okay. Now here I have installed the MDT tool. Okay. So how I'm going to create a task sequence. So I'm going to open the deployment page. So after you install the MDT, you will get a option called workbench. So using the deployment workbench, you can do the same thing what you did in SCCM. how to build the task sequence, deployment environment, and second one will be how to apply the particular the created task sequence to the machine, right? These are the installation part. It's I mean about to 25 MB file, right? So just a basic installation. Okay, so once you install the NDT, so you get a console like this. So this is the place where you are doing all these migrations. So you can see now here. What is deployment share? So this is the place where we are going to keep all these applications, IOS segments and everything. So we need to have a share, right? So basically it will do the file, folder sharing and everything when we are doing this installation. So all the Acrobat or whatever the applications we are going to push, the IOS images, drivers and everything will be residing in this location. Okay. So once it's done, part. Okay. Now here you can see the applications, operating system images, the out-of-box drivers, packages, task sequence, everything is there. It's almost same as SCCM, right? So the task sequence part also same. So whatever applications you want to add, you can edit here. So operating system OS images you can add like this. Whatever operating system you want to edit in task sequence, right? So likewise you can create task sequence. So this is how we are creating the application, the Office package. We need to push that Office package. So how we going to deploy it? How we going to configure? So this is the way. So this is the source folder of the 2007 Office 2007. So command line means the installation file, setup.exe, the basic one, right? So it's pretty much easy. So let me show you the okay. Now after you complete the task sequence, it's same as the SCCM one, right? So install operating system, everything is there. Whatever things you want to customize, you can do the customization, right? You want to add scripts, you can do the scripting as well. Final part. Okay, now after we create the image, I told you that we can create all these files into a thumb drive, right? So once the media finish, now it's the ISO file. Okay. So inside ISO file, you will get kind of boot, deploy, autorun, boot, and share file. So you can copy all this into a thumb drive, right? So if you have branch offices, you can have a couple of thumb drives. So you can copy the same thing to the thumb drive, and you can plug it, boot it from the USB mode, then it will do the migration, right? So if you are going to use free tool, remember, if it's a free tool, then you have that option. Or else, if you have 100 number of machines over there, it's better to take the machine if you have the capacity. Or else, the thumb drive option is there. So inside that, all the packages and everything will be there. So let me open the second one. How to initiate the, after you create the image, how to initiate it. So now this is the XP machine. Now here it's showing the same thing. What are the applications, user applications, whether photos are there or not. So like this, photos are there, everything is there, right? So now I'm going to initiate this. Only thing is now in SCCM what you need to do is just to push it to the particular collection you want. But here, whenever you are starting it, you have to do some manual manual keying part. So you have to put the machine name back, and you have to add the password. If it's joined to a domain, we need to put all these details. So there are manual work. So that's what I'm saying. Always the easy thing is SCCM, but of course for people who can't have SCCM in-house, we have this option, right? So likewise, whatever the packages we have created, we have to select. Every time we have to select all this. The region, language, password. Okay. After it completes, it will start the same thing. Capturing same and everything same as SCCM. Right? So it's starting the installation, installing image, install applications, Office. Once everything is done, now it's with Windows 7. So all the shortcuts, everything is there. So the user state data will capture and restore. So this is my MIDI server, as I told you, right? So now you can see the same thing as SCCM. Whenever you want to add application, you have the option. So I have added Acrobat and Office 2007. And for operating system, Windows 7. Under Windows 7, I have a couple of options. Windows 7 functional, premium, and so on and so forth. So if you want to have drivers, US drivers, you can add it. And if you have any language packages, you can add the language package as well. So after you compare the task sequence, so this is the task sequence. So same way, if you go to properties, you can modify anything the way you want. All these options are there. So you can see whether you want to have a capture or you want to format or you want to enable video, everything is there. So it is using the print tool. So that's all about these two tools. So if you have any questions, you can raise to me because for the next class is ready. So anything? Before I ask the question, so how many of you are using Windows XP now? Right. Okay. So no questions, right? No questions. Okay. My question is, when is the end date of Windows XP?
You can ask him to raise the hand.
Yeah.
We have one.
Someone raise their hand, please. Most. Okay. Good. So what I can do is just share me the your email address. So I'll forward the particular voucher to you. So you can redeem it. You can buy whatever the e-books you want using that voucher. Right. So if you have any questions, I'll share my email address as well. So please get back to me, right? So,
assuming most of your audience will visit me, for the people who are not, it will be first time for the session. So let me quickly review about myself. I'm a VP again as Pasita, but my specialization is faculty. So please test that one. Now today my session is more about the Windows Azure side. Now one more information, actually notice I have to do today is, it's not going to call as Windows Azure anymore starting from April 3rd. Public announcement is going to be Microsoft Azure. So they are going to do a global renaming concept. For all the technologies, most probably I am assuming they are going to use Windows 10. So it's going to be Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Office 365, likewise. So today I'm going to more focus on how to monitor the Azure services. Assuming, now before I go talk about anything else, let me quickly get an update. How many of you have heard about cloud computing? Okay, right. So that means most of you are aware about cloud computing concept. So let me highlight and take it a little bit forward. So cloud computing is all about running your either applications or your servers, or it can be your platform, SQL database, Oracle database, on someone else's data center. Now, someone else's data center can be two categorizations, either service provider or large database providers. So there are currently 3 or 4 large service providers like that in global scale. So Microsoft is one, then we have Amazon, and Google, and there are some other third parties like that. So today we are more focusing on if you ever like deployed applications or website on Microsoft Azure, how you are going to monitor them. So my agenda basically, why we are going to monitor, one thing we are going to talk about very high level, and then I'm going to jump into the SCOM. This is software, just like Hasita mentioned, SCCM, SCOM, all these software actually part of a Microsoft product called System Center. It's in that family, you get 7 to 8 products roughly. So I'm just more focusing on the monitoring aspect. Then I'm going to talk about in SCOM how we are going to do the monitoring. So to do the monitoring, we have something called management pack. So we look at it that part. And finally, I won't be able to demo this one detail today. The time is not enough. Web application availability and global monitoring. So there's something called global service monitoring. We call GSM monitoring, which I'm not going to cover today with the live demo. Then I'm more focused about installing the actual management pack onto the SCOM server and then monitoring some of the services we have published on cloud. That's what we are going to do today. And then of course we have the questions and answers available. Feel free to talk about. So the biggest question is, this is a common scenario what happens for most organizations. It can be either you or it can be the business owner. End of the day, when their applications are not working, that's the biggest frustration. Let's say for a business owner, it doesn't matter whether Hyper-V, VMware, physical server, virtual server, Oracle, Windows, he doesn't care as long as his business application runs. If it's not running, maybe for a couple of seconds or a couple of hours, that means a business downtime for him. That means money. So that's the biggest pain. Like that's why you also being challenged. Now all this time, couple of years back, we were only monitoring, let's say in the firewall, port 80 blocking, port 443 blocking, enabling those kind of thing in firewall. But now the firewall actually has been now come to a next stage where we call application filtering firewall. So because every application these days try to go through port 80. So the biggest problem is if you have very old firewall, if you try to block port 80, then no one can go to internet even. So there has to be involvement. Now all the firewalls are very much capable of looking at the application, the identities inside, and then do the filtering. So the same concept now applied for our applications as well. Because if you are thinking like if I monitor the service up or down, then if everything's okay, that's going to change now. Because in physical server, when you install Hyper-V or VMware, you are running more than let's say 10 or 8 servers. So then how can you identify? Because you need to identify each virtual machine, what is running inside there. So now we are actually a little bit evolved. Now we are looking actually inside the application whether it's running or not properly. Or like now we are going a little bit more ahead. Now we can even look at this application developer's code and tell exactly where the developer got kicked out. I mean, let's say if we did a mistake, we can identify that part. So these are the monitoring goals, but I really mentioned all of them. So what we really want to do end of the day, we want to have a comprehensive, that means very high level, full 360-degree view. We want to know if the application failed. Is it due to network? Is it due to my physical server or routers? Or is it due to my, let's say, hypervisor? Or is it due to my server, VM? Or is it due to my application? Or is it due to my developer's code error? Now we want to go to that level. So that's what I mentioned about comprehensive view. We need to go that deep level. Now, why all this actually end of the day so much important? Going up to even to that level. So we talk about monitoring networking, monitoring like application, monitoring your physical servers. Why all this matters end of the day? In another simple word, it matters because end of the day, if the business is down as I mentioned, everyone going to question it. And for some IT administrators or system engineers, this matters because of this reason. Because whenever like there's an application problem, like you are going to go to the developer and say, hey, the problem is in your application, and the developer will say, hey, it's working in my machine. It must be your physical server, so network issue. It's always network issue. So now what we are trying to do is, we are going to go in very deep down level, exactly telling if it's a developer, this is the exact problem. So this is just a graphic just to mention. You can simply say to the developer, look guy, this is the exact problem, it's your fault. So rather than actually, we also don't know, like a couple of years back, when the application down, we also don't know. Developer will always watch it and say, hey, it's your problem. It's working very much fine in my server or my laptop. So it must be your bug in your software or like maybe something in your network. if that days is over. That's where actually SCOM 2012 comes to the picture. Now SCOM also like a product started evolved just like all the system center products. Now we are actually on the R2 stage. Basically, why SCOM very much valuable? Because of SCOM is a product which can be go across the organization. When I say across the organization, who can get the benefit out of SCOM? For the CIOs, they can actually see very high level with a one dashboard whether my entire organization, all the servers, applications, networking, whether working properly or not. One dashboard. So inside that dashboard, behind it can be 100 servers or let's say 1,000 servers. Doesn't matter. You can have it all in one single dashboard. So it's very much important for him to know whether your organization is all the services are functioning properly. And then for the service owners, let's say it can be actually Exchange owners, SharePoint owners, they want to know whether their application is working properly. They are more focused on that area. And as the infra engineer, he or she want to know whether my network, physical servers, VMware, Hyper-V, routers, whether they are working properly. So across all of them, we can actually look at monitoring with 360. Now, these are actually some of the very high level of the architecture wise. What we try to do is end user experience. Now, this is something much more to do with deep. What we are saying is, if an end user complains next time, rather than you try to troubleshoot randomly, whether the server issue or laptop issue or the Windows issue, now we can simulate end user connected to the server application and then find out whether in between if there's a problem, whether that problem is happening on the end user side, network side or server side. So this is actually we call end user experience. And then I mentioned about the application monitoring. This is what we at SCOM is much more very strong about. This is where like most of the customers who buy SCOM also, the key decision for them to buy, application monitoring. They won't know even when someone says email not going, you need to find out very quickly whether it's a problem in the Exchange server. When someone says Exchange server is running properly, you need to go deep inside in the Exchange and find out whether actually it's a hub server or like let's say mailbox server, services down or not. Maybe one mailbox might be down. So you want to know that deep level, this is where actually everything is happening. So this is something we improvise on SCOM 2012 starting with network monitoring. So now we can do the network monitoring as well, assuming the network port, let's say network, entire network switch or out, up or down, single port level, how many bytes went out of ingress, egress, likewise. Now, so these are the new of the things what we can read over this time. But if we very quickly go ahead with the improvements, very high level. So we introduced something called a concept called 360 degree. That means monitoring network and the server and the application, all the infrastructure level. And then what I really want to highlight is this area. On the application, if you have developers, in-house developers, you need to work with them to identify. Now we have the capability to go inside. What happens is if they identify a problem, this problem might not be understandable by us, system engineers, because it's a debugging thing for the developers. What we can do is, once the SCOM server integrated with Team Foundation server, it's a developer's platform, we can actually grab the error, pass to the Team Foundation server and send it to the developer. So we don't have to worry about how to troubleshoot that one. If it's a developer's issue, we just pass it to it. And then, this is one more area, improving dashboard. A lot of CIOs or the IT managers don't want to see a lot of errors, how it happened. They don't care. They want to know very high level, is everything running perfectly or not? That's all I need to know. For them, it's all about the dashboard. So like a couple of dashboard has been enhanced. Widgets, I think you all familiar with the widgets concept, like it came on Windows 7 as well. So small applets. So you can take them to the mobile platforms and view the progress. Now there are like a lot of third-party companies playing a role on this one. To be honest, like some of them play much more better role than the Microsoft. So when we, let's say if I want to monitor VMware, I might go to like Veeam. Veeam have a management pack to monitor a VMware environment, much more better. And if I want to monitor Oracle databases, then I would go ahead with OpsLogic. OpsLogic is a company who strongly work with monitoring Oracle databases using SCOM. So they have their management pack for that one. It's quite expensive, but really makes sense. So this is the one I really won't be able to demo for you all. Application performance monitoring, something a new concept that the more of the companies are focusing on. Now, application performance, like that particular software is a third-party company, previously called as Avicode. Now, Avicode is a company who is very much specialized, very much famous as well among developers to monitor .NET application, to find out the root cause and the issues. So, what Microsoft did is, couple of years back, they purchased the Avicode company, and then initially they integrated with SCOM 2007 and R3 they started, but 2012 they integrated. 2012 R2 they have much more enhanced. So now this is no more called Avicode. When you say Systems and Operation Manager, and when I say Application Performance Monitoring, this part is integrated. So this is how it functions. APM works. Now let's say you have .NET based application. We put the APM agent, basically we call SCOM agent to the particular machine. What it do is actually then after that, try to use in that particular management pack rules or the commands. It's a predefined one. You don't have to write anything. It's everything written earlier. Using those commands, we try to actually keep on monitoring the .NET application without doing any modification to the application. So if there's any problem, or if there's any issue on that particular application, normally it will be capturing all the performance code. Something goes wrong, quickly can actually drill down, identify the issue, send the notification to the system engineer or to the developer. It depends how you configure the software. So the advantage is rather than giving an error, now this was SCOM actually really shine. It just gives you the trace where the problem occurs and how it occurs. You can you don't able to see very much, but the idea behind that one in the APM when you're giving an error, it's just detailing saying where the error occurs, exact area with the line code for the developer. So he or she know exactly how to monitor that one and resolve the problem rather than waste a lot of time thinking where the bug is actually happening. So I'll quickly run to the Azure Management Pack. So this is one of the questions now a lot of customers had. When I deploy web applications or put my SQL Azure databases onto the cloud, how can I monitor it? Because like let's say the scenario based on the practical demonstration, so practical deployment we done recently. The idea behind that one is, this is your Azure cloud, and let's assume this is your in-house network. Let's assume you have a SQL database in this location and the application will be hosted, web application on Azure. We can actually create a site-to-site VPN, and if you have a SCOM server over here, using it directly, if there are any VMs, we can monitor the putting an agent onto the VMs. But assuming you don't have a site-to-site VPN connection, but you have created a web application and a SQL Azure database on the cloud, but you have SCOM server in-house, but you want to monitor that one, you don't have VPN. This is where actually we are going to do the demo today. We are going to monitor without VPN over the internet. Let's say we have internet connection over here. So both organizations are connected to the internet. Through the internet, how can I actually monitor the Azure web service? That's what we try to do today. So this management pack again developed by Microsoft. Just to give an idea, in SCOM software, if you want to monitor, let's say, network devices, any third-party Exchange server, SharePoint server, Oracle database, Linux machine, someone has to tell you what do you need to monitor. Is it the processor or is it the application services? Someone has to tell how to monitor. Those commands, how to monitor those commands, they actually all are written into like couple of files and then they are sealed as MPs, management pack. So when someone says SCOM management pack, this means it got all the rules and the commands. Some of them can be PowerShell scripts. All of them are integrated into one management pack to monitor specific application. Can be Exchange, SQL, Unix, Linux, anything. You name it, any application. It's across the ecosystem. It's not only a Microsoft monitoring application. It's across one. Okay. So let me actually, rather than going to the PowerPoint, quickly jump into the presentation. So if I go to the SCOM dashboard, so this is actually the typical example. Okay. So this is just like SCCM, same architecture. We always have the navigation pane on the left hand side. So each defined into the categorization. So most of your time will be spent on the LS section. Now in advance, now if I just keep, this is the scope console. Let me quickly jump into the Azure console. So I'm just trying to log into my Windows Azure portal in the cloud. So I have in advance, I have already created some cloud services. So you can see these are all of them. Now virtual machines, I have created one virtual machine on the IaaS platform, and on the SQL database wise, I have used one SQL database. And in the cloud services, this is where actually I have published my services. So as an example, the one we are going to do today is actually my Azure Web. It's a web-based server running in the cloud. Basically what happened is I published a website, and actually it's using the Windows Azure Web Services and running. So you can see these are the live usage information about that application. Now Windows Azure itself, in their dashboard, they have got a very basic level monitoring, as you can see, but it's never go very deep down level. So what we are going to do is this particular web service we are going to monitor from SCOM. Now to do that one, now the problem we have is between the in-house. Now I have some paper. So let's say this is my SCOM server. My cloud application is here in the Azure. Now what I don't have is site-to-site VPN connectivity. In between, all I have is internet. Now this particular SCOM server, now over the internet, let's assume they are connected, this network connected to internet, Azure anyway is in the internet. Over the internet, this SCOM server needs to go over there and then monitor this web application. Now the biggest question is, when I try to do something like that, what about the security? So we always get a question about security. How can I monitor this one? Because I can't put an agent because I don't have site-to-site VPN. So what we try to do is, first of all, on this SCOM server, I'm going to create a certificate, and then this certificate is going to be dropped into your Azure website, Azure portal. So then after that, this particular Azure portal going to trust this server, and the communication happening using this certificate. So basically, it's a communication encrypted using your certificate. So this certificate can be created on this SCOM server, self-signed one, or you can buy it from a VeriSign or Google or VeriSign, GoDaddy or anyone. So you can buy a public certificate and use that one, or you can use a self-signed certificate and then establish the communication. That's how things will be done on this demo. Now in advance, because of the time it takes, I have already pre-created, but I'll show you the steps. If I go to the IIS on this SCOM server, I don't have public certificate, so I just use the self-signed certificate on this particular demo. So there are two certificates we need to create. One is actually, we can say, create a self-signed certificate and then give a name. Okay. And create a one. That's one way we can do. And the other one is, once you completed that particular task, complete that one, and once you create that one, again you go to the view, details, and then copy the certificate file again, the CER file, because you need both of these files. So we are not going to export with the private key. We are selecting the extension of CER and then save the file. Now what I have done is, in advance, those two files, I have already saved them. So you can see there's one security certificate and the PIX file. So those are the two files we need first of all, because we are going to do over the internet communication. Now going back to the SCOM console, sorry, com. Let me take the Azure portal. On the Windows Azure, you have to go to the settings, and then under the subscription section, management certificate, you have to upload that certificate. You can see the one I created is called SCOM. I already done that one. The steps are very simple. You just select upload, select the certificate. Now in my case, I might have to do that one inside that particular VM. But the idea behind that one is you select that one and then try to upload the certificate. So once you've done that part, let me log in on that server. What you have done is only one way so far. You create a certificate in the SCOM server and give it to the Windows Azure. But the problem still remains. Now Windows Azure is going to trust you because he got a certificate. But how can you trust actually the Windows Azure portal? How are you going to do the communication with the SCOM? There has to be two-way all the time. So to do that one, every Windows Azure subscription, you are getting a unique ID. Everyone. If you created one, you will get a different ID. When I created one, it's a different ID. So what you see under the management certificate, if I go to the subscription ID, this is a very unique one. Every individual person will get a different one. So what I'm going to do is copy this value and put it to the SCOM server. So that's how the trust will happen. So if I go back to the SCOM, go to the administration, and there's a section called actually Windows Azure. So these steps are very much easier, not that complicated. You can see I have already done that one, but let me show the steps. So we'll go say add subscription, and you have to give that ID. So what I can do is select that particular ID. Copy that one. Remember the certificate that we created previously? We have to give that one as well. And if there's a password already assigned for that one, you have to give that one. Now, when I say next, and in case for some organization, their SCOM server never been allowed to go to the internet directly, there will be another proxy server in between. Through the proxy only you can go to the internet. If that's the case, you have to let them know what is the proxy server. So through the proxy server, they will go to the internet. So if you will have such a thing, you can say use a proxy server to connect to the internet and give the address of the proxy server. Now in my case, I don't have. So if I say add subscription, it's going to make the communication establishment. Now in live environment, this will, once you've done this, it might take like maybe half an hour time to the SCOM server to go to the internet and identify what are the services you have deployed on the Azure side. Okay. So in advance, one more thing now to go back. You establish the connection. Now Windows Azure might detect, SCOM will detect what you have deployed over here. Everything he will detect. But then the problem is, we don't know what to do. Because like we can see all these things, this server doesn't know what to do. So we have to have something, some instructions to tell this SCOM server, hey, when you find the Azure resources, do this, do that. So again we need empty. Take empty and install it to the SCOM server, which have the instruction how to monitor Windows Azure. Okay. So for that one, you can go to the internet and let me also do the common search. So we use the perfect search engine. Okay, so we'll say Azure management pack. So Bing search or Google search, whatever, and get the management pack. It's download that one. It's a very small management pack. So there are two actually. We are only focusing on today actually Windows Azure Management Pack. GSM I am not going to do. So under the Windows Azure Management Pack, you are getting two instruction files. Okay. Normally, one more thing you have to look at it. Some management pack when you are downloading, Microsoft giving the instruction how to configure that file. So that's very important. So always check. This is a very not that latest one, you can see it's 2013. 2014, there will be always instructions. The number one thumb rule, if you are going to deploy SCOM and you are going to install these management packs, before doing that one, download it and read the instruction. Very, very important. Just even though it's very simple, next, don't do that one. Read the information very carefully. It doesn't matter how experienced we are on the IT industry, these are very much a crucial step. Okay, saying that, now once you download it, you can go to the administration, management pack, and then you can say import the management pack. There are a couple of ways you can get management packs. Either you without downloading, you directly go to the SCOM and say download it from the internet directly. Or if your SCOM server never allowed to go to internet, download the management pack separately, copy it to the machine, and then import it. So either method will be fine based on your requirement. So you can say add, because in my case I have it on the disk, on the hard drive. If you want, you can directly inquire to the Microsoft website and download it from the catalog. So all the options are available. In my case, let's assume management packs, Azure. So I have two management packs I want to install. Now what will happen in my case, it will try to say it's already imported, because I already have done in advance, because it will take some time to do the task. What I really want to do, this is the steps. Once you download it, if it's not been already installed, you will get the option to install. That's it. So the commands are installed. Now, this is the beauty. Once you've done that one, under the monitoring, you will get actually all the management pack details. So you can, if you look at it very carefully on the screen, you can see there are a couple of management packs already downloaded. So some for virtual machine manager, some for SQL monitoring, and if you go all the way top, you can see like if you have Unix or Linux, if I have already configured them, I can see Unix and Linux if I have such a thing. So this is a product where you can go across non-Microsoft as well. But coming back to my basic concept, so Windows Azure, once you install the management pack, you are getting a folder, Windows Azure. Inside that, you can see all the rules and monitorings are available. Now, if I go back to my Windows Azure console, have a look at the all items, what you can see, the list, and now we go back to this SCOM server and see whether we can find them. So you can see I have something called cloud services, how many cloud services I have, and then the cloud storage, and the discovered virtual machine. If I have any virtual machines over there already discovered, you will be able to see all of them. So mainly what I'm trying to highlight now, if I go back to this web role, which I have already pre-configured for the demonstration, but I'll show you the steps. If I look at the diagram view, this is where like a lot of IT engineers will save the time, because when the problem occurs, even it doesn't matter in the cloud or inside your local data center, one of your application servers, you need to know whether it's a problem on your physical server or virtual machine or the application in a quick dashboard. Now this is a very simple one. You won't see much of a like a diagram goes downwise. But if I have physical servers and a couple of VMs, this is the site that goes all the way down and down to level. So if there's a problem in a one particular web page or Exchange server service, I can see actually the cross mark saying there's an error. Then I can right click that one and quickly go for the help view. Now at this stage, I don't have such issues. Let me show you. These are the things actually he can monitor. Basically your subscription, whether your Azure account is going to expire or not, he can give an idea about that one. So let's assume you buy Windows Azure or Amazon, like some reason like it's going to be expired very soon or the credit limit is very low. You never know that one unless you go to the portal. But this SCOM will be keep on actually monitoring your subscription. If it's running low credit, it quickly actually go to the red mark and update you about the credit available. Now, I'm more actually trying to focus for you all to show how we can monitor the web crawls. So, I have already done that this one. You can see like some of them are saying not monitoring, some of them already say monitoring. So let me show how this happened. Now what we have done so far, the steps. We initially create a certificate, put it to the Windows Azure, on the Windows Azure, we got its unique ID for the SCOM server. So now they can communicate and identify. Even though SCOM server now can see all the storage, virtual machines, websites in the Windows Azure, he doesn't know what to do. So what we did is we download the management pack and gave him the instruction. Now the next part is, now we have the instruction, but there are so many things here. I really want to filter maybe one web application only and monitor that part. I don't care about the other services maybe. So next part is how we do that. I have website, I only want to monitor all the virtual machines, if there's any databases, all the things, 360 degree of this one. So let's try to do that. So for that, I have to go to a section called authoring. So if now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and monitor the Windows Azure monitoring. If you look at this screen carefully, if you never go for the, let's say you are not going for the Windows Azure, you are going to monitor in-house Windows servers or Unix or Linux servers. See how much you can go to. You can either monitor the database level or .NET application or Windows services. Maybe you are a system administrator, you only care about whether one of the services goes up or down. If it's down, you want to get an alert. That's all you care about on the entire server. If that's the case, you can go to the Windows services and monitor that one. So in my case, I'm more focused on the Windows Azure monitoring. So I'm going to say add monitoring wizard and say Windows Azure monitoring. That's what I want to do. So the name you can give any name. Say. So what I'm trying to do is over here. I'm going to say the SCOM server, hey, I want to monitor one of the web applications. These are the things you need to monitor. I'm going to give him a command. So these commands, where you're going to save it. So this is actually a management pack come to the picture. You are creating a management pack now. So there are already predefined management packs. But the number one rule, don't go and save anything over here. Create your one all the time. Because you know that all the related rules that you created on that particular management pack. You'll say new. Azure monitoring MP1. If you did a modification next time, you can come back and select the version number, change it to 1.1, and then put some description about it, why you did the change like that. So I'm going to say I'm going to monitor with one of the web services on the Windows Azure. And I'm going to save all the rules onto the Azure monitoring management pack. I'm creating a custom one. And then I have to show what is my Windows Azure subscription. I have to select that one. At the moment I only have one. It will take a couple of seconds just to verify whether this is true or not. If there's any subscription, is it valid or not? The problem is like I have already actually gone ahead and actually used this one. That's why I'm getting the error. So let's show what I have done previously. Okay, so let me show, because same steps, when I go ahead and click next, this is what we are getting. Basically, I have already created one called Azure monitoring, and I'm doing a website monitoring. So what I'm going to monitor? That's the next question in that one. Here you can see under the cloud services, I have already selected one called My Azure Web. If I go to the Azure website and cloud services, you can see I already have something called My Azure Web. So that's what I'm at the moment monitoring. So let's see whether I can select something called Bubble Services 01 as well for the same monitoring management pack. So I can say add, do a search. You don't have to type everything. So I'll select the only available one at the moment for me, My Azure Web 1, and that as well. I won't be able to monitor the other one. So, I'll tell exactly why I did like that. Because when I configure this one, on this COM server to monitor and everything happen properly, it will take 50 minutes. So in advance, what I did this task background just to make things very quick. So I won't be able to like demo the steps again and again. But basically, what we are going to do is, if I go back, just basically go to the add selection and do the search. Then it will show in my particular Windows Azure website what are the web services I have. But there's one catch. These two at the moment actually not running properly. There's no website in this one. I just created cloud service. But this my Azure web, there's an actual website running. That's why I was able to monitor that one. So this is what I have already selected. So I won't be able to add that one again. I don't have virtual machines and I only have one storage account in that particular monitoring. Now if I come back for the monitoring, what it so actually that's been monitored. This were the demo of the same part for me. Just to show this is working properly, I'm going to go to the Azure website and stop this service. And now in ideal environment, this should go to the red mark very quickly. But because it's a lab environment, it will take a couple of minutes. So that's the pain point I have on a live demo. Unfortunately, just like Hasika, I don't have a recorded one today. So I'm just trying to do everything live. Let's see. Hopefully things go smoothly. So at the moment you can see it's running. I'll try to stop it on the Azure side, in the Azure portal. And now I'll wait until this message says the particular task is completed. So in ideal environment, if I have production at SCOM server, when this particular service is down on the Azure side, SCOM server quickly detects that one and raise a generated error saying that the web service is down. But the only problem is like it's a demo lab. Everything is pumped into that one very slow performance, so it will take a couple of minutes. For some customers, how we do the deployment by the development people, even though it's called a cloud service, this cloud service will be actually configured with, let's assume, 2 VMs, front-end VMs, and then it just got, let's assume, application pool, and then one SQL database. So when all of them are working perfectly, then knowledge SCOM will say this website is working properly. If one of these components SCOM detected not working, then quickly he is going to give an error. The idea behind that one, what SCOM try to do is, when they get an error, we can actually expand this diagram, quickly identify whether it is VMs, application or database error. Okay. So now the service has been stopped. This is the problem for me actually. Now in the ideal environment, this COM environment, I should get a quick error stating like this particular website is down. Than I expected. So you can see the web role at the moment, it's saying a warning. Okay. So let's assume when you see this one, you want to know what's really going on. So you right click that one and say Health Explorer. Then try to go for the detail level for the health. Now, once you identify, now you can see like there are a lot of components. This is what actually tries to give the idea. What actually I am monitoring on this particular application on the Azure side. All the components. So you get an idea about, okay, these are the components keep on monitoring, and if I want to get a visual diagram, now as I mentioned, this is a very simple website, one VM and one website, but if you created a very high level application, couple of VMs, databases, this particular diagram you will see all of them, and then can root cause identification. Under this VM, if I have SQL database, it will quickly show you the errors in the SQL database. So from the visual diagrams, you try to go to the root cause, identify that one quickly. Okay. So in my situation, I get a generated error quickly, go for quickly to identify what caused the issue, and then find out if someone says, okay, can you give me history, how it happened at what time, to have all the information. What time actually started healthy, from there how it comes to the critical, and all the way up actually back to the warning. So you can get all the history and then the issue where it really occurred. So the same thing actually happening in-house application. Now what we have done basically, expand that one to the Windows Azure level. So this is very high level one at the moment for the demo is. So you can see like I got 2 cloud services. I was only monitoring one. You can see even in a graphical diagram, if you do this one for the CIO, all he sees is all my applications in the cloud, just like those diagrams, widgets. Very simple to understand for them. They will see a diagram like that. So for the IT guys, when they really want more information, they can right click that one and drill down. But for the management, they only prefer like, there are some graphics you can create if you want, the way you prefer, but these are part of the diagrams you are getting. So let's see whether now if I solve the problem back, they can come back quickly. So if I start this one, if things again go smoothly on this lab environment, I should get this error gone back and come to the normal stage. But again, as I said, like it depends how long it will take. And see at the moment it's starting. So in my Azure window, it might take a couple of minutes time. In a production environment, this is supposed to take less than 60 seconds because based on the SLA the customer asking. On a typical SCOM deployment, we will have one monitoring server, one database server, likewise, and they will communicate. But in the demo, we have both of them in one server. This is where the performance issues happen. So even in the Azure it will start in this machine to detect that one and to update its database, it might take a couple of minutes time. So this is very high level actually what SCOM can do. Unfortunately, I didn't demo today for you about the application monitoring. This is where it really shines, just to identify the code level issues. But the problem is, when they want to monitor some kind of, let's say, application issues, that will not going to help because that's basically created for like network monitoring. But if I'm correct, recently, SolarWinds is also actually doing the application monitoring now. Is anyone using SolarWinds? No? So SolarWinds actually also have a section to application monitoring. But the biggest advantage, now everyone in the market fighting. So why SCOM? If someone asks, when compared with the SolarWinds, or let's say in the VMware they have something called VOps. Why SCOM? So the key behind actually going back to the deep into the application monitoring. So none of at the moment is doing this task across the ecosystem, either it's Windows, Microsoft software or Unix, Linux, doesn't matter, and hardware, let's say HP, Dell monitoring, Oracle database monitoring. So this is actually the key advantage. Now this today's session is something like you might not go and do very quickly to the production, honestly, because a lot of customers are still trying to go for the Windows Azure, still in the far away. But in the Europe countries, it's already happening. But the idea behind that we want to do today this session, just to see the technology that you already have. If you already have a system center, this is the capability. It's kind of future-proof. So if you all have any questions, feel free to ask it now or later. And what I've done is, up to today, how this task can be done, I have already uploaded to my blog, so you can have a look at it. So most probably like end of this week, you'll get the second part on the blog. So continuously, as Asik also mentioned, something we try to do is like whatever we're talking about, some of these actually will be in our blog, step-by-step guides, or you can do Google search anywhere and you can find a lot of other articles as well. I assume most of you are familiar with the Facebook group, because this is where like we try to put a lot of questions, and even the PowerPoint presentation we do, it actually will be in the IT Pro forum. So see, like some of you are new, have a look at it on the IT Pro forum. So whatever we try to do over here, all the slide decks, if you want to reuse it back to demo for someone else, all the content will be there. So if you all have any other additional questions, please feel to put into that one. And apart from that, I think some of you might not have there. We also have the Twitter account as well. So in case if you are not get the email, IT Pro email, if you miss the email, make sure at least you are subscribed for the Twitter as well. So using Twitter, so you get the notification. Because the problem we found is sometimes when I try to send it to like a lot of email addresses, I might get missed due to spam blocking or something, or sometimes it might go to spam. You might never get it. So make sure either one or two of those technologies will be used regularly. So you get the notifications on whenever we start. Okay. So as usual, like questions, please feel to ask it now. Unfortunately, just like Hassan did, I'm not going to give you all tips today, but hopefully for the next week, I might have some actual related tips for the IT Pro Forum. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have now, or otherwise, well, as usual, after the session. So thanks again on behalf of the IT Pro Forum actually coming back and spending a lot of your time today. And one more thing I just want to ask from you all now. Now I get the trend like apart from me and Hasita, new speakers are coming to the forum. That's really good thing, and we encourage you all. Just see, you also if you can try to do a session, and please feel to communicate using our IT Pro or put it onto our Facebook to request that you also like to do a session. And if you need any support, how to do what topics, please talk to us and we'll help you on that one. Okay? Thanks everyone.